I'm very happy to be here because this is a very different culture and a very different place. And as soon as I came in, I realized that this was the melting pot of the East and the West. And that fascinated me. As far as I go, I finished my architecture in 1977. It's quite, I think, fossilized time. Yeah. And when I started, it was not a very well-known profession, and more so, there were not many girls who took the profession. There were only 3 in my class, and it was a challenge at every stage, right from admission to getting into profession and to being respected by the workers, because in India we interact a lot with the workmen, with the masons, and so for them to be able to respect a woman, and that to a young woman, was quite challenging. So, but then once they knew that, well, you know what you're saying and what you're saying might be right, then I think the respect automatically follows. So it has been a long time, and I think on retrospect, all this and these challenges that I have faced have defined what I am today. So my interest kind of moved to, instead of doing the key and the plum projects, I used to do projects which gave me a lot of satisfaction, which were more challenging, which maybe the male counterparts would not want to touch. So, where I started working on with the environment and how value can be added, how I can bring down the energy consumed by the building and that the building takes to run it. So this kind of defined my path into what my focus is today. And today I believe that architecture is a wonderful profession. It is a mix of being an artist as well as being a person, a management person. So when I say you're an artist, you don't have the freedom to do whatever you want, because it's not as if somebody is going to stand and look at your painting or turn away, but it is people who are going to use your space. And so when that happens, I think the responsibility that goes with the profession is very high. And specifically today, I have been part of various think tanks globally where climate change is a big issue, and the planetary boundaries are, we're almost at tipping points of many things like the biodiversity, water, and also the soil, the condition of the soil. So the very sustenance of humanity and our planet is in question. So I feel that the planet has been gifted to us, and we are all very fortunate that we have got this gift, but then humanity has used it, and then beyond a point has started plundering it, for their own materialistic good. And so today what we are facing is a result of that action. And I think we need to definitely take remedial action, and I feel that as a fraternity, as architects and designers, it is up to us to do this for the people, because the people may be aware, may not be aware of the repercussions, but we as major stakeholders in the creation of the built environment understand this, and I think it's doubly our responsibility now to see that we all collaborate. And I think one thing that I find in architects is that we are all creative, we're all very individualistic, and we seldom work together. But the challenge is, how do you work together? In spite of being creative, in spite of all this, you need to collaborate, and you need to feel for the cause as a fraternity and move forward. So that is my agenda, to see that the younger generation gets together and comes together for the cause of the built environment. See, with globalization, and especially coming from a developing country, I find that there are lots of influences of the developed countries that people think is most important. And when that happens, the common perception of what standards of a building should be, what materials to use, whether it is relevant to that location or not, just because it is being done in developed countries, people want it to be used in India and any other place. So I think we should really be in a position to say that, well, it is a beautiful material, but it is not for us. So how do you do that? That is a major challenge. And when it comes to working, if you follow what is populist, then it is so much easier for an architect, because you know what the perception is and you go by that. But here you have to look at your conscience and say that, well, this is populist, this is what the people want, but this is what is really needed in reality. So how do you marry the two? So that is a major challenge. By making samples that people understand what we are saying, and it's not as if being local means being poor quality. It is not like that. And aesthetics is something that we as architects are always, it's part of our DNA to design aesthetically. So aesthetics is a very essential part of whatever we do. So when we do it aesthetically and use the relevant materials and still achieve it, then it's more challenging for the architect, but I guess the results will prove themselves. And once people start experiencing these spaces, they would be in a position to understand the value behind these spaces. I have worked on spaces which are healthier, which we use a lot of natural light, where we do not use artificial light. So I found that the headaches, and people work with their computers all the time. So working with natural light is so much more easier on the eye. And then the indoor air quality, it gives you that much more energy to work. So the question is really, I'm trying to energize my buildings by using material and by using the right technology and by using something that is very local. It is a challenge, it is a constant challenge, but I only try to look at the strengths of being a woman. So in my office, as far as architects go, there are a lot of women architects who work with me, because I'm able to empathize with their issues and they are able to, where the relationship is much easier. Initially I had a little issues in getting men working in my office, but now that is not there anymore. As far as clients go, it's a question of the end result. It is a little more difficult because you can't, I suppose, market the way the other gender does, but it is a challenge, but I think the beauty is in the challenge.
Of course, and being a woman is part of the
Yes,
challenge.
I think we are very special. We are able to empathize much more. So I think we make wonderful architects, sensitive architects.